We are also looking into the creation of a news alternative for cable subscribers. This news service will be called the Cable News Network and will program continually updated half-hour segments of national news, business news, sports, and features 24 hours a day. I know that we will succeed, and I pledge to you that we will not let the American public down. I wanted to start the Cable News Network because I felt that America needed an in-depth voice in what's going on in the news, and a news service that would cover those areas like the financial news and the sports news that aren't adequately covered. You can do so much more in 24 hours than you can in 24 minutes. People have asked me about my commitment to the Cable News Network. Well, I just want you to know that the commitment is absolutely total. So far, everything we've done has been right, and this is going to be right, too. And we're going to stick with it as long as we need to make it a success. One reason I'm pursuing this thing as strongly as I am is not just for us, but I think the people of America need this in-depth news service, and I'm willing and have been willing all along to risk everything that I have to provide that service, and we're going to provide it come heck or high water. We intend to cover all the news all the time. And since we're going to be on for such a long period, continuously, we sign on June 1, and barring satellite problems in the future, we won't be signing off until the world ends. We'll be on, we will cover it live. You know, that will be our last event. We'll play the national anthem one time, and that's all.
From the headquarters of Turner Broadcasting System in Atlanta, Georgia, WTBS proudly presents CNN, Birth of a Network. Coverage of the inaugural ceremonies for the Cable News Network. Here once again is Bill Tush.
Good evening and welcome. We're outside our new home, the new home of the Turner Broadcasting System in Atlanta. The reason we're here, and hundreds of other people are here, because inside those doors, hundreds of people, after months of work creating, building, and assembling, the Cable News Network is a reality. For the first time in television history, there is now a 24-hour-a-day news service giving you live, in-depth coverage of the news. And about a half hour ago, after last-minute rehearsals, adjustments, and preparations, TBS President Ted Turner threw the switch, sending Cable News Network signal to the RCA Satcom-1 satellite in outer space and back to more than 2 million homes around the country. Tonight we're going to talk to some of the people that made CNN a reality. We'll talk with some of the interesting people who are attending the opening ceremonies. We'll show you the opening ceremonies, and then we'll tune in to give you a first-hand look at the Cable News Network. But first, maybe it'd be a good idea to tell you a little bit more about CNN itself. Cable News Network is a 24-hour-a-day news channel that you can watch only on cable television. If you're watching us on cable right now, you may discover CNN on one of your cable channels. If your cable system doesn't carry cable news, contact your local cable operator. We should make clear that WTBS, the Superstation, and CNN are two separate channels, two different ways the Turner Broadcasting System is America's TV alternative. When Ted Turner made the first announcement about Cable News Network about a year and a half ago, he had already assembled some of the finest people in the news business today. From senior correspondent Daniel Shore to CNN President Reese Schoenfeld, Turner brought the best people together and, drawing from their mutual expertise, laid the groundwork for Cable News Network. Then, over the next months, more and more people joined CNN. Distinguished broadcast journalists, young, aggressive reporters, and a top technical staff. Slowly, the entire ground floor of our new headquarters building turned into the most elaborate television news gathering facility ever. That's what you're looking at now, the CNN Newsroom, designed by experts for 24-hour news gathering and reporting. You may have seen newsrooms on TV before, but nothing like this. Along one wall, room after room of videotape editing facilities, where staff members record and edit late-breaking stories beamed in via satellite from bureaus all over the world. The cable news satellite control room can pick up signals from 9 receive dishes, each with 24 channels of information all day and all night. Dozens of producers, assignment editors, and writers work in this part of the newsroom, preparing a mix of headlines, news in depth, and informative features. Unlike other news operations, the CNN anchor desk is located right in the middle of the action, convenient to the rest of the newsroom and to the control room. That way, when important news breaks, you'll hear it fast and live on Cable News Network. But of course, the people you see on camera are just part of the staff of more than 200 people who make CNN a reality. Jim Kitchell told us about the interesting mix of young and experienced people that make CNN special.
We have an enthusiastic group of young people, a lot of them recent journalism graduates, people who have had some experience in broadcasting, telecasting, in newspapers, and working alongside with some real veterans from the industry, people who have had a number of years of extensive journalism background and news gathering experience. We're all so enthusiastic about what we're doing. The concept of 24 hours a day of news is really a journalist's dream.
Enthusiasm is the key to Cable News Network. Enthusiasm, the best people, the best equipment, and Ted Turner's idea have all come together here.
And the result, we'll let you be the judge a little bit later on in the program. You know, there are about 1,000 people here today, and we just had a little bit of time to talk to a few of them who share the enthusiasm about CNN.
Well, I think it's very exciting. I think it's wonderful, all these people here working together, and we feel like this is Ted's dream, something he's looked forward to for, he says, one of the biggest things that's ever happened in his entire life. And so, you know, we're all very excited for him.
That's great. Well, we're all here to have a good time today, and you got to see the new studios?
Yes, yes. We took, my mother and daddy were here, and his mother, and the children through today. So.
Is it the first time you've seen the new building?
No, I've seen it 2 or 3 times. I've been coming down, looking at it at different stages of growth.
Well, the first visit to the CNN studios, I have, of course, been here before, you know, on various occasions. But the studio is just incredible. All of the newest equipment, things I've never seen before. It's very exciting.
What will you be doing exactly on CNN?
I'll be doing pieces about people, that is, psychology pieces, what's new about you, in essence.
It's very exciting, you know. It's really the first thing new that's happened in the news business in an awfully long time, and I think everybody across the country, all the people in my business and the newspaper business, are just very interested in observing it.
When we see you on there, what exactly will you and Mr. Evans be doing?
Well, we'll be on the primetime news at 8 to 10 o'clock, either one of us or both of us every night, giving a commentary usually tied to the day's news. Sometimes usually it'll be out of Washington, oftentimes it'll be elsewhere. We'll also be doing interviews on Saturday with guests, and if we find something hot that's happening in the middle of the day, we'll be on then too.
We're going to do some television reviews. We hope we're going to do them well.
What do you think of the whole operation?
Oh, it's marvelous. I was here about a year ago, and this place was a shambles. I mean, this pond right here that you've seen was full of gunk and muck, and the television studio down there, which now looks like the set from Star Wars, was peeling paint. I mean, there was water dripping. There were rats running around. Don't tell anybody we said rats, but I did see a rat.
But now look at it. It's a reality.
It's amazing. I wouldn't have believed it, and I think I'm supposed to be cynical, but it's hard.
When you talked to Ted last year and he told you that this was his idea, because you are doing a book about him, right?
That's right.
But did you ever think it would develop, it would look like this, be like this?
Well, he's a pretty persuasive guy, as you know, but I sort of had my doubts. They continued to erode, and now they're gone.
How do you write a book about Ted Turner?
Well, you keep your mouth shut and listen a lot.
6 million homes you're into. And what are your views of CNN? What do you think it's going to do for us?
Bill, I'm as big a booster as you could find. I think this is the most terrific day in the history of news, and I think it'll make all the difference in the world to the viewer, to the industry, to the people who are in the business right now and network television. And it's an important day because this country has been deprived of news that it could have gotten many years ago if it hadn't been for some things that slowed up the process. So I'm just excited as everybody else is.
These two faces are going to become very familiar to you. They won't be on CNN, rather they'll be on TBS, on our station. We're going to be having a new 10 o'clock news show every night, 5 nights a week. And this is Kevin Christopher. You're going to be the sports anchor.
That's correct.
And this is David Jensen, who is the news anchor.
Hello there.
I just met these guys. What do you think of Cable News Network?
Fantastic. Just absolutely thrilled to be here. It really is going to be a wonderful, wonderful situation, I think.
Have you had a tour yet of the facility?
Not yet. We've just flown in from London. We've been here half an hour, so we've just arrived. It looks very impressive, though.
One of Atlanta's most distinguished citizens. It's Reverend William Borders, who is the pastor of the Wheat Street Baptist Church. You have been there for 43 years. You've seen Atlanta grow.
Yes, I have.
Now you're seeing it become the hub of a new network.
Yes, indeed. It's absolutely tremendous. It's remarkable, unbelievable. And for blacks, it's the capital of the world. They can make it in Atlanta when they can't make it anywhere else. Atlanta's something.
What do you think of Ted Turner and his idea?
He's absolutely the most fantastic, daring, courageous person of spiritual insight I've ever seen. I just wonder what he's going to do next. I don't know whether he knows. But anyway, he is absolutely an asset to Atlanta, to sports, to Georgia, to the whole nation.
This is probably the most proud mother in the world. This is Mrs. Florence Turner, Ted Turner's mother. And this is, what kind of a day is it for you?
The most thrilling day of my life.
What is it like being Ted Turner's mom?
It's wonderful. I'm really speechless. I'm so thrilled.
Did you...
The only thing I worry, Ted's undertakings are so great, and I always worry about him.
When he first started, took over the billboard business and everything, did you ever think he'd go this far?
Never. This has surpassed any dreams I could ever have had for Ted.
You did get a look at the news operation?
Fantastic. Yes.
Well, we wish you continued success being Ted's mom. It's great.
Thank you so much for all your kindness.
Up next on our opening day festivities of CNN, a look at some of the things going on here today. We hope you'll stay with us.
Birth of a network. Here once again is Bill Tush.
You know, it's not every day of the week that a 24-hour-a-day news network is dedicated. And that's the main reason for all the festivities. That's the main reason why we're here. And as you know, those festivities took place, the opening festivities at 6 o'clock today. We thought you'd enjoy seeing them, so we taped them. So let's go now and take a look back at that tape and see the birth of a network.
I'd like to call our ceremonies to order. We should be on the air at 6 o'clock as predicted. We have a few statements from some visitors and some people that are with us. First, there are going to be 3 people that will come up and speak that I'm introducing really all at once. The first is Tom Wheeler, the president of NCTA. The second person to come up and speak will be Bob Wessler, executive vice president of Turner Broadcasting. And the third person will be Reese Schonfield, president of the Cable News Network. And with that, I'd like to introduce Tom Wheeler.
And now back to CNN, Birth of a Network.
It's impossible to thank everyone that is responsible for this achievement which is about to begin. And earlier, the major contributors to it have already been mentioned anyway, so I'm not going to mention any names other than Reese Schonfield's, and what a tremendous job he and his people have done, and what tremendous support we've had from our friends in the cable industry, from the advertising community, from the press of America in general, and from my family and everyone else. I want to say thank you. You'll notice out in front of me that we've raised 3 flags. One, the state of Georgia, where we're located. Second, the United States flag, of course, which represents our country and the way we intend to serve it with the Cable News Network. And over on the other side, we have the flag of the United Nations, because we hope that the Cable News Network, with its international coverage and greater depth coverage, will bring, both in the country and in the world, a better understanding of how people from different nations live and work together, and within the nation work together, so that we can perhaps, hopefully, bring together in brotherhood and kindness and friendship and in peace the people of this nation and this world. I'm now going to read a little poem that was written by Ed Kessler of dedication. To act upon one's convictions while others wait, to create a positive force in a world where cynics abound, to provide information to people when it wasn't available before, to offer those who want it a choice, for the American people whose thirst for understanding and a better life has made this venture possible, for the cable industry whose pioneering spirit caused this great step forward in communications, and for those employees of Turner Broadcasting whose total commitment to their company has brought us together today, I dedicate the news channel for America, the Cable News Network. And now if we could have the presentation of colors, then we'll have the national anthem. Thank you very much. Everyone will stand for the presentation of the colors, please.
Birmingham, New York, Key West, Naples, Rome, Los Angeles, Niagara Falls, Paris, Tulsa, Denver, London, Canton, Newark, Peking, Orleans, San Diego, Reno, Nicaragua, San Francisco, Seoul, Perth, the Marianne, the United Nations, Vienna, Buffalo, Lima, Kiribati, Islamabad, Decatur, Nashville, Jamaica, Jonestown, Chicago, Weatherford, Topeka, Tokyo, Madison, Fort Worth, Fort Wayne, Warsaw, Bangor.
Ready, camera one, box. Take 11, Mike cue. To New York.
Good afternoon from the World Trade Center.
Stand by, ready 3, take 3, Mike cue. 3, start to slow zoom in a little bit. Roll tape, take 3. Ready 13, full. Ready camera 3, 1 center up.
Good evening, I'm David Walker.
And I'm Lois Hart. Now here's the news. President Carter has arrived in Fort Wayne, Indiana for a brief visit with civil rights leader Vernon Jordan. Jordan is in serious but stable condition now at Parkview Hospital. He is recuperating from the gunshot wound suffered early Thursday morning. Police still have no solid lead on who attempted to murder Jordan. We'll have more on the president's visit later on in the hour. But first, Richard Bloom takes a look at how the small town in Indiana...
Oh, well, another day, another dedication. And you're probably wondering, after all the hoopla, what Cable News Network really looks like. We're going to be back with a special preview of the actual CNN when we return.
And now back to CNN, birth of a network.
Well, after all this, you're probably wondering, what does Cable News Network really look like? Well, we have a special treat for you. We're going to punch into Cable News Network where they are right now on the air, and you can get a look at it and an idea of what CNN is all about. Let's go now down to Cable News Network and their main studio and take a look at it.
As you already know, this is the first day for the Cable News Network, and we thought you might like to see where we live and some of our facilities. So here's a tour of CNN with Chris Curl and Dawn Farmer.
Isolate satellite control.
It's a pleasure to take you on a tour of the facilities here at the Cable News Network to see the machines and the people who will make this news channel work. I'm staying in what we call the farm, the satellite farm, the largest collection of satellite receiving dishes in the world. Each of these 6 receivers is aimed at one of the 6 U.S. domestic satellites in orbit 22,300 miles above the Earth. Well, these monsters, it seems, can collect almost anything from up there, any broadcast signal being carried on any channel on any of the satellites. They reach up and they get the signal somehow and they bring it right down here. And from here, it's only a short trip by cable across this Georgia red clay lot inside the Cable News Network headquarters here in Atlanta. My wife and co-anchor Chris Curl is inside there now at Master Control. Chris?
It's here in Master Control that the signals from all of those dishes become pictures and sounds. It's here that they're all transformed into the people and into the programs that you'll see here on the news channel. And one of the busiest people here is our satellite manager, Bill Papa. Bill.
Hi, we're very busy here because we have access to any signal transmitted via a domestic satellite, which is as many as 98 at any given time. We have 20 receivers here, so we can tune into as many as 20 signals simultaneously that we'll have access to anywhere in the house here at CNN.
What happens to the signals after you've rounded them up here in Master Control?
Okay, we tune in the frequency here, and it's put into our routing system right here, and then it can be viewed on any one of our monitors on the monitor bank here, as well as several monitors throughout the studio floor, as well as all the editing rooms and some other locations throughout the building.
You can just push a button and it either goes to the viewer or to one of our edit rooms or someplace else.
Exactly. Right now, we're taking a feed from New York. As you can see right here, Mary Alice isn't quite ready, and tile here, and this is what's currently going out on CNN Air.
Well, whether our viewers will see it as it's happening or whether our viewers will see it in an edited form later on is determined here at CNN, where Don is right now.
This is where the news people tackle all that technology we've been showing you and actually use it to help us gather the news. And one of our chief news gatherers at CNN is Jim Rutledge. Jim, what's the function of the desk?
Well, this is where we have 15 assignment editors, and it's here that we coordinate all the activity that we collect with the 7 domestic bureaus and the 2 foreign bureaus. We work throughout the day, 24 hours a day, to get the material that you see on the air.
So if any of our people have a problem, they call you first?
That's correct.
We're going to come back to the assignment desk in just a moment to show you our bureaus in this country and around the world. From here, the material goes literally right across the room, right here, to where the producers and the writers take the pictures and the words and try to put together the actual pieces you see on the air on Cable News Network. The man in charge here is Ted Kavanaugh. Ted, I'm sorry, excuse me. How do you put it together here?
Tell me, we have a pool of producers here. Each one does 2-hour shows. 1 hour show, then 4 hours off, another hour show. They take the material from the pool and they send it over to the videotape room where it's coordinated with the words and the tape is coordinated, and then it's on to the anchor people and we wish them luck with it.
Okay, thanks very much. From here, across the anchor desk, through the sports area, to A control as we call it, and that's where Chris is standing by now. Chris?
Well, you've seen Master Control. This is A Control, where all of our news gathering efforts come together electronically. Our directors and our producers sit here to make our newscasts, our tape reports, and all of our live satellite feeds come together to be part of our continuous news coverage. And the technology here is the latest and the very best. This audio board, for example, is really one of a kind. We could use it for a rock concert, but we just use it to make sure that you can hear the news as it happens.
Library, volcano, concert, riot, religion, hostage, interest rate, stock surge in high London, Rome, Los Angeles, Vienna, Miami, Buffalo, Seoul, Tokyo, Moscow.
So as you've seen now, it all comes together here in Atlanta, but it all comes into Atlanta from a lot of different places, especially from the CNN bureaus around the United States, the largest of which is in Washington.
This is Bernard Shaw in our Cable News Washington Bureau. Our staff is large because this news capital of the world is large, complex, and ever-changing. The #1 challenge is not just to tell you what and why things happen here, but to explain what developments mean to you and how they'll affect your pocketbook. And we've got the kind of professionals who care.
I'm Mark Walton. As White House correspondent for Cable News, I'll be covering the president and his advisors as they have never been covered before, with precise live television reports wherever and whenever presidential news happens. In the Oval Office, overseas, and on the campaign trail, you can rely on me and our Cable News cameras for in-depth, plain-language reporting on the nation's #1 citizen.
I'm Kirsten Lindquist at the Treasury Department. I've got the economics beat.
This is Bob Berkowitz on Capitol Hill. We're going to keep a sharp eye on Congress with updates throughout the day. And if it's important, we'll be there live.
You can depend on us being here all the time. And please, pass the word.
I'm Mary Alice Williams, New York Bureau Chief for the Cable News Network. We're in the heart of Wall Street, and each morning, each night, anchor Lou Dobbs, editor Myron Kandel, and our financial team will be bringing you reports on the world of business and high finance and what it means to you. Kevin Sanders will let you in on the in crowd, TV, Broadway, the beautiful people. Elsa Clanch brings in the trendsetters, the go-getters who set today's style. Ed Randall runs down the hits, the runs, and the errors, and along with a top-notch staff of reporters, I'll be bringing you the news as it happens, live from New York and the Northeast.
This is Jeff Levine in San Francisco. I'll be covering news of the Bay Area and the Pacific Northwest. Whenever and wherever news happens in our area, we'll be there. And we'll bring it to you live via satellite. From breaking stories to politics to features, we'll have it all. So please, stay with us.
Hello, I'm Larry Lamont, the Dallas Bureau Chief for the CNN. Welcome to our bureau in downtown Dallas at one main place. Though we're in downtown, we're going to be covering a 4-state region, Oklahoma, Arkansas, Texas, and Louisiana. It's an exciting region, well known for its tornadoes and hurricanes and oil slicks. But it's also known for something else, an economic boom. This is the Sun Belt area. Many businesses are moving to Houston and to Dallas, New Orleans, and other cities in the Sun Belt states. It's an exciting story, and we'll keep you abreast of it.
Welcome to California. Hi, I'm Lee Leonard, and this is the CNN Los Angeles Bureau.
Every night at 10 o'clock Pacific time, we'll bring you Tonight's People, a full hour of talk with celebrities and people making the news. But a lot more will come to you from Los Angeles. We will have a full-time entertainment reporter covering the entertainment capital of the world, Fred Saxon, and he'll be feeding information via satellite to you all day and all night on CNN. Hard news will be covered by Bryce Zabel, and the sports beat here in the Los Angeles area by Debbie Segura. That's all coming to you from Los Angeles here on CNN. We'll be with you every night at 10 o'clock for a full hour of talk with Tonight's People.
This is Cindy Druss, Bureau Chief in Chicago. I'm one of nearly 7 million people that say Chicago is my kind of town. Here you find the kind of people that build the world's tallest building, serve the world's best pizza, elect feisty mayors, and turn out for any kind of parade, anytime. Here in Chicago, we cover the people, those in colorful old country neighborhoods and those in the corporate neighborhoods. We cover people known for their leadership, people known for their advice, and people you know for plain common sense. Transmitting live by satellite and microwave, here and around the Midwest, CNN is in the heartland's capital city because this is our kind of town.
All of our foreign news reports comes across this desk, comes from our correspondents and bureaus around the country, to our foreign editor, who is Janae Von Essen. Janae, how does the material get here from around the world?
One of the things we're really excited about is our ability to use satellite coverage to feed from our Rome and our London bureaus and to feed from various points where stories are breaking in the world and bring the material right here into Atlanta, where we'll put it on the air as fast as we can. I think we're going to get a lot more international news on the air. I think we're going to get it on a lot faster. You're going to get the opportunity to see a lot more of the way things take place in the world on CNN. Another thing I think will be a lot of fun for the people of the country is to see some of the foreign sports that you don't usually see covered here by the American networks, like cricket, some of the yacht races. I think they're fascinating, and we should have them on a lot.
Thank you, Janae. And sports is our next stop on this tour of the Cable News headquarters. Any serious news coverage, whether it's local, national, or international, has to include sports. And our vice president in charge of sports coverage here at Cable News is Bill McPhail. Bill, what sort of coverage can we look forward to?
Well, Don, we're going to have full sports around the clock. We'll have, among other programs, 2 half-hours on weekdays. We'll have 2-hour programs on the weekends. We plan extensive coverage of sports, national and international.